You're listening to a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network. Some say we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.
Oh, we're finally live.
Oh, man.
StreamYard is just awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of the hosts, and to my right is a man who could hear his excitement about the Yankees from all the way from Albany, New York. Dustin Henry. Dustin, how are we doing today?
It's true. We talked a little baseball on Seahawks sessions last night, as you know, and I said the Yankees, they heard you. They heard you, and they're trying to spite you. So, hey, we'll take it. We'll take it because the Mets might not make the playoffs. The Reds might make the playoffs. The Yankees, we thought the AL East was out of reach, but the Jays have slid a little bit. Things are getting interesting, but we got a lot of football to discuss today as well. Thank you for everything you do to try to get the show working. I know how frustrating it can be. We are finally here. We are ready to go. Other than that, how are you?
StreamYard, man, it's a trip, man. But I do want to give a shout out to our to one of our leadership, Kelsey, who is part of the High Low podcast. He was the one who reached out to me and said, you know, try this, and it worked. So it seems like StreamYard is having issues with their reusable studios. Thanks for the heads up. And that's why we are an hour and 24 minutes late. And we got some comments in the comment section already. The pink can of sap and showing up saying sports ball. Oh. And ton to BS. Dan Cruz saying, gentlemen, technology sucks. It's not technology, because I rebooted my modem. I cleared my cache on my browser. I tried everything, and it's a StreamYard issue, and we got nothing. We got no notifications from StreamYard saying, hey, we're having issues.
Yeah, I tried Googling online. I even tried stuff from my end, because I usually have the Taylor Swift mantra. Whenever something's going on with the show, I start to think, hey, I'm the problem. It's me. So I restarted. I updated Chrome. I was doing because I read that maybe it could be a browser permissions issue. So I was trying stuff over here.
Yeah, we were both trying on everything on our separate ends to try to get this show riggedy rolling, and now we're finally live. So again, shout out to Kelsey, one of our guys, one of our leadership at one of the leadership at Belly Up Sports, for helping us out so we can get this big rig rolling, because we have requirements to meet.
We do.
We have a requirement to be met, but that's neither here nor there. But thank you, Kelsey. We appreciate you helping us out. All right, we're gonna get things going. We're gonna talk about Thursday night's game, not in as full detail as yesterday's StreamYard Seahawks sessions. We can check out on podcasts and on YouTube at the Time to BS podcast. At the Time to BS podcast YouTube channel. But we'll talk about week 4, what is appealing to us. We'll talk about our Pick'em challenge, the Pick'em challenge, who we're picking this week, and our favorite number 69s. Hey, Desi, we're ready to 69.
Well, she was ready to go live when we were originally thinking we were going to go live. Hopefully she joins us. I'm gonna put a notification in the.
I'm already on it. I'm already on it with the new link and everything.
All right. Yeah.
All right. We're gonna get started. Oh man, we've got some comments rolling in the chat already. It's a wild time on Saturday, but we're gonna get things going. Before we do that, we just want to remind you to please follow us. Follow us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. You can also check out our other podcasts, like the High Low podcast, and our written articles at bellyupsports.com. On the podcast side, subscribe to the podcast whichever platform you use, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, our YouTube channel, and Podbean, which is our host. And hit that notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube so you know when you're notified that we go live, when there's show clips that go up, or when general announcements are up, like in our community on YouTube and on Twitter, also on Facebook. On the podcast side, rate and review and comment. 5-star rating is helpful. Leave a review on platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, and Podchaser. And also, if you're listening on Spotify, leave us a comment, because you can leave a comment for every podcast. Although it's not really, if you look at other more popular podcasts, and people don't seem to use that, that function. Also, this will be available on our Belly Up YouTube channel later this afternoon. I'm going to try to aim to have it live up at 3 p.m. Eastern. And apparently they've changed the algorithm again on YouTube.
Oh.
And they're making it that a comment is just as good as it is. It's basically a view now. So leave us a comment in the comment section about week 4, what you're looking forward to. Talk about the Cardinals, talk about the Seahawks. We want to hear from you. And because we're a live show on most Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, except for today, and on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. with the occasional Friday happy hours here and there, we want to hear you in the chat. We got some comments already in the comment section on YouTube. We want to hear you on Facebook. We want to hear you on Twitter. And even though we're late, this little ditty is always on time.
Chime time is always on time.
It's always in demand. And look at these comments in the comments section. Dan from the Time to BS podcast saying, also, Kevin Wilson loves Chili's.
I tried so hard to defend him last night, but Dan was having none of it.
I get Dan's point of view. I can't defend that either. He's in Texas.
Yeah.
There are much better places than chain restaurants for quesadillas.
There are. And, if I know Kevin, he knows some, but Chili's popped into his mind, and Dan, it was a funny moment on the show. It was definitely a funny moment.
I really wanted to hear Kevin say, I wish I may, I wish I might, and I feel God in this Chili's tonight. Eli Betts saying he's headed to the golf course, just wanted to show some love. Have a great show, fellas. Thanks, Eli. Appreciate you. He subscribed to the channel after one of our Just End the Suffering comments or podcast we had recently. By the way, Monday night is Monday Night Misery. Tune in at 7:10. I'm gonna do a live stream, a live react in somewhat real time to the Jets Dolphins game. It's on Monday night at 7:15. Thankfully, hopefully the game doesn't go long, because I don't want my sister to kick me out of the house because I'm being annoying. Because my sports ball talk is annoying. But I'll be quiet. I'll be as quiet as I can. And the reason why I say somewhat live reactions, because I have Fubo, and Fubo, when all live streams are, for some reason, when on streaming, it's always behind the primary broadcast, which is usually on cable or on cable. So that's gonna be one of my rules for Friday, for Monday's broadcast, is no spoilers in the chat, please, because I'm behind.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute the. I'm gonna watch the Prime broadcast. I'm not gonna do the Manning cast, and I'm gonna mute Joe Buck and Troy. And I'm gonna have you. I'm gonna have you on there.
It's gonna be Chris Fowler, Dan Orlovsky, and Louis Riddick.
Yeah, that's right. It's the early game. That's right. The double.
It's on ESPN. It's not on it because ABC has the Broncos Bengals game.
Yeah, I forgot it was another doubleheader. Ooh, Broncos Bengals. What a Monday night.
Yeah, and Dan also wanted this. Mention the number 69.
Yeah, we'll get to 69 later.
The number 69 later. Yes, we will. All right, let's talk about this Thursday night game. Like I said, we won't talk about it in full detail. You can check it out on the Seahawks Sessions podcast, which is on the Time to BS podcast. It's a YouTube on their YouTube channel. Seahawks beat the Eagles. The Eagles beat the Cardinals 23-20 on Thursday night. And I'm going to have you start, Dustin, because you watched the whole game.
I did.
And you have a lot more to say. It's coming from a Seahawks fan perspective. So give us a little breakdown of what you saw and what you thought of the game.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll try to keep this quick because, like you said, we covered it in depth on Seahawks Sessions last night. But for 3.5 quarters, It went exactly as planned for the Seahawks. They were doing everything they wanted to do. Kenneth Walker had 19 carries for 81 yards. Charbonnet, his yards per carry average, not great, but he had 12 carries for 39 yards and a touchdown. He got all of the goal line and red zone work, it would seem. The Seahawks were also noticeably looking for the tight ends in the red zone. Arroyo was a target in the end zone. AJ Barner had the touchdown. The Seahawks were dominating defensively. They were dominating this game, but they had a few opportunities to really ice this game early, and it just didn't happen. They had the interception, which then a Seahawks player ran into. I believe it was Bryant that picked that ball, and he got run into and then fumbled the ball, and the Cardinals actually gained 5 yards on the play. That made me I had a bad feeling about the game. I predicted, I normally don't do this, but I predicted that the score would be 23-20 Seahawks before the game. Dan asked us to predict the score in our Seahawks group chat. And I did that. And because I just had a feeling about this game, but for 3.5 quarters, the Seahawks dominated. Sam Darnold was able to use the play action pass to perfection because the running game, while not dominant, was doing enough to make it a feasible plan of attack. You can really see. I was vocal last night. Ryan Grubb, I could not picture this offense going under Ryan Grubb. This is making me realize why they made the switch to Clint Kubiak. And while I think things are not perfect yet, you're starting to see their identity. But then the defense, there was that holding penalty on Jackson Smith-Njigba on a would-be Zach Charbonnet touchdown. And that kind of turned the tide of the game because then Jason Myers had to go for a field goal. He missed the field goal, and the Cardinals defense, credit to them, they played well enough to keep the Cardinals in this game. Sam Darnold had not really been sacked before this game, and the Cardinals were able to get to him 3 times. The only problem for Kyler Murray is that he got sacked 6 times. James Conner was noticeably, it was a different feel without him there. I'd like to give a little hat tip to Marvin Harrison Jr. He's had a tough start to the season, but he made a great catch over Devin Witherspoon, who I talked about last night. I think he's got a little bit of rust. He'll be fine. The Cardinals stormed back to score 14 in the fourth quarter to tie this game up, but then they had that short kick, and it allowed Sam Darnold to get the Seahawks into position after a great catch by Jackson Smith-Njigba. You could tell the Cardinals wanted to shut down Jackson Smith-Njigba, and they did for about 3.5 quarters. And then Jackson Smith-Njigba started to activate in the fourth quarter, and he made some huge catches when he needed to, most notably on 3rd down to keep a drive going for the Seahawks, and then the one that ultimately led to them getting in field goal position to ice this game. Shout out to Jason Myers and the Smelling Salts.
Dustin, we have some breaking news in the chat.
Ooh, all right.
Breaking news. Here we go.
Wow.
This is from Eli Betts in the chat. He and this is on Jets videos on SNY Jets. Justin Fields will start on Monday night.
Wow. I want to get your rapid reaction as a Jets fan because I understand that if he was healthy, there was some questions. Some people were saying, hey, should you keep Tyrod in there? Sorry, Baker.
It's Tyrod, not Tyrod. Jets are winning by 50 freaking billion. That's what's going to happen.
All right.
So yeah, I kid, but also I want to see it happen. No, this gives the Jets a better chance to win.
Okay.
On Monday night, I believe. I'm sure my fellow Jets fans will be the same. Will say the same thing, unless you're a Zach Wilson truther and you want Tua to get injured, so Zach goes in there and lights up the Jets. But no, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. That means Justin Fields is healthy and he'll be in the lineup, and the Jets can scheme and absolutely run the ball down the throat of the Miami Dolphins. So that's my rapid reaction. Hopefully that happens. My mouth to God's ears, But thanks, Eli. I appreciate the news. I did verify it on SNY Jets on Twitter. Aaron Glenn, from Aaron Glenn's mouth, Justin Fields is playing on Monday night. So hip hip hooray! But back to the Thursday game, Seahawks and Cardinals. This was, I truth be told, I only watched the first half. And I watched the first half, and the fact that the Cardinals were booed to the locker room, that tells you something about the fan opinion of the direction of this team. This offense is much, much different without James Conner in the backfield. I think I talked about this on Tuesday. James Conner, he's a stabilizing presence for an offense dependent primarily. Now the offense is going to be dependent on Kyler Murray to do things. And as much as, I love some Jason Conner. He had James Conner has an inspiring story coming back from leukemia to play at Pitt. And he played in the Steelers and signed a nice contract with Arizona and has become a very key contributor to that offense because, again, it stabilizes his presence stabilizes the offense. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately for them, Kyler Murray is not becoming the quarterback that the Cardinals were hoping for when they drafted him. And this was a king. Let's not get this twisted. This is Cliff Kingsbury's pick. Mm-hmm. The primary reason why he was hired by the Cardinals is because he wanted Kyler Murray on his offense.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't last very long. Cliff Kingsbury is now in Washington as the offensive coordinator. And he's got him some Jaden Daniels, although he might not play on Sunday either. But regardless, Kyler Murray's, they're stuck with each other. They're stuck with each other until at least 2028, or he gets traded. Yeah. And we talked about this on the corner booth pregame on Thursday. And I asked corner booth Matt, if he would love to see Kyler Murray in a Jets uniform. He says, yeah, he's just basically Justin Fields, but shorter. and it's true. It's true. It's absolutely true. Yes, he can use his feet to move the ball. But when it comes to passing accuracy and decision-making, it's not there. It absolutely is not there.
Yeah, and say what you want, but they reminded everybody in the broadcast, the Cardinals jettisoned Josh Rosen, who was a draft pick that was high the previous year to make room for Murray. We don't know what Josh Rosen would have become, and based on the trajectory of how his career went, but you never know. He was a high draft pick, and Josh Rosen, he made some comments when he was drafted saying he was going to make everybody regret all these things, and the people that picked before me are going to be sorry. And he said some things, but you never know, because they just basically said, yeah, see you later, because we want Kyler in here. And you got to wonder, is it worth it? Early return? Well, not so early returns now say no.
Yeah. He was part of that 2018 quarterback draft class that featured Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. I'll talk about him in a moment. Josh Allen, who is the clear-cut king of that particular draft class.
Without question. Josh
Rosen, who the Cardinals traded up with Oakland to get. They swapped positions. They swapped draft positions so Arizona can get Josh Rosen, and he lasted a grand total of 4 years in the league, and half those years were on practice squads with other teams.
Yeah. He was at UCLA, wasn't he, I think? Josh Rosen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then Josh Rosen at 10, going a little bit farther down. And at number 32, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. The Ravens got him at 32.
Yeah. Well, they traded Pittsburgh. They traded with Philadelphia, because Philadelphia swapped places with them. And I think they traded out of the first round that year. Yeah, they did. They traded out of the first round that year. So that was the quarterback draft class of 2018. We talk about the draft class of 2021, how star-crossed that is. But let's go back to the game real quick. Seahawks look very good, especially defensively, up until probably the halfway point of the fourth quarter, excuse me. They caused 6 sacks. They forced 3 turnovers, including 2 interceptions out of Kyler Murray. Now we're going to talk about Sam Darnold. This is the Sam Darnold we Jets fans hoped for when he was drafted back in 2018. This is the Sam Darnold we wanted to see, who Mike McCagnon traded with Indianapolis for. They were at 6, moved up to 3 because Mike McCagnon believed he was going to be the quarterback of the future. He saw it all the way back when Sam Darnold was in high school, which is kind of creepy. But this is the Sam Darnold we wanted. This is a Sam Darnold with weapons with a running game. This is Sam Darnold with very capable receivers, and this is Sam Darnold with an offensive line. We saw glimpses of it in Minnesota last year. Now we're seeing it in Seattle this year. This is the Sam Darnold we wanted to see as Jets fans from when he was drafted. So again, that's in the past. This is the Jets. This is who they are. They ruin people, and then they go to other teams and they succeed. That's just who they are right now. Hopefully, Aaron Glenn will break that curse. But back to the game, Cardinals again. Thanks in part to the Seattle Seahawks defense taking their foot off the gas. They kept the game entertaining, but I'm going to bet that Chad Ryland is going to want that kick, last kick back, because it dropped 1 yard short of the drop zone, goes out of bounds. Seahawks begin at their own 40. 4 plays later, they get within field goal range, and Jason Myers, who made up for that missed field goal earlier, gets out the smelling salts, kicks a 52-yard field goal, walk-off winner. And as of right now, the Seahawks are half a game up in first place over San Francisco for first place in the NFC West. And Cardinals are sitting at 2-2. And I talked about this last Saturday on last Saturday's program about the Cardinals and the 49ers game to watch that I had my eye on, even though it was god awful.
Oh yeah.
It was a slog to wade through. But the Cardinals are looking like, they were everybody's dark horse team to make the playoffs this year, according to all the pundits. And with James Conner out of the lineup, they haven't broken 30 points yet. I think they got close against Carolina and they almost gave up that game. So I don't know what this Cardinals team is going forward. This is what it looks like going forward. They're going to have to punch their way out of every single game with their defense, and then Kyler Murray try to patchwork his way through with Marvin Harrison Jr.
He's going to
dropping passes early.
Yeah, and he's going to lean heavy on Trey McBride. I mean, we talked about it. The one defensive weakness for the Seahawks so far is tight ends. It seems tight ends shred them up.
Same with Jets.
But yeah, Kyler's going to have to lean on Trey McBride big time and hope that Marvin Harrison puts it together, because you hit the nail on the head. This offense is different with James Conner in it. A lot of people were thinking that Trey Benson was gonna provide a spark in the running game because he's younger and he's looked better when he runs in spurts. But you could already see it in this game when Trey Benson was relied upon to get it going. Emmanuel DiMercado scored the touchdown that tied the game late. So they were already moving away from Trey Benson. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward.
Yeah. Let's go to the comment section real quick. Eli gave us the news that Justin Fields was starting. I did look to see what else was going on with the Jets. Jermaine Johnson is out again, which is unfortunate because we're going to see Michael Clemens fill in that edge, and we've got numerous issues with that guy. Oh, God. Does he saying, finally, she's here, technology issues. And she also tells Dan from Time to BS, Chili's baby back ribs.
Barbecue sauce.
Baby back ribs. All right, we're going to take our network mandated commercial break. And we want to talk to you about one of our great affiliate sponsors, one of our newest affiliate sponsors here at No Credentials Required. And that is Royal Retros Apparel. And let me bring up my handy dandy script here. Just a brief moment. Oh, dang it. I got to log in.
Oh, man. This is
what happens, man. This is what happens when.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the ad. Okay, here we go. Royal Retros. This episode, No Credentials Required, is brought to you by Royal Retros, King of Throwbacks. Remember when jerseys were bold, mustaches were glorious, and shorts were way too short? Good news. You can bring back all that retro magic, minus the chafing, with Royal Retros. They've got vintage style football, basketball, baseball, and hockey gear that just screams, I was born in the wrong era, but I look amazing. Rock a jersey that makes people say, wait, isn't that from the 80s? Yes, it is. And you look fantastic. Head to royalretros.com. Use the promo code CREDHEAD at checkout for 10% off your order. That's CREDHEAD, like a fan of our show. CREDHEAD, like a fan of our show, but with excellent taste in throwbacks. Remember, royalretros.com, promo code CREDHEAD at checkout, 10% off your order, plus free shipping for every order over $100. Royal Retros, the king of throwbacks. They're also our affiliate sponsor for our Cut the Breaks Pick'em Challenge, which we'll talk about just a little bit later in just a little bit. But we're going to get to what we're going to talk about in week 2 of the week 4 of the NFL. We're going to start off with the most intriguing matchup in our estimation. I've got Ravens Chiefs as my most intriguing matchup. It's the 4:25 game. Probably be America's game of the week. I believe it's on CBS, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double check and make sure I'm right. But yeah, raise your hand if you had both teams at 1-2 entering this game. Okay, you over there, you're a liar. You over there, you're also a liar. You're also a liar. None of you had these teams at 1-2 entering week 4 of the NFL. And these teams are going to be desperate for a win. And this will be the feature game, the 4:25 game, the feature game. Can the Chiefs offense shift into second gear? They've had troubles getting started against opponents like the Chargers, the Eagles, and even the Giants. Even the Giants gave them a tough go on Sunday night. Well, they only won by 13, but they only scored 22 points. So they were getting fits from the Giants. Has Derrick Henry had a man-to-man talk with himself in the mirror to tell himself not to fumble? 3 fumbles in 3 consecutive weeks when this man rarely fumbles. That's troubling. And when the Ravens offensive line be able to stand the Chiefs pass rush, especially in a hostile environment like Arrowhead Stadium. These questions and more. I have a lot more questions going into this game, but I don't have time to talk about them all because we're only gonna cut ourselves off in about 30-something minutes. But these questions and more are entering this game because one of these teams is going to be 1-3. A quarter-ish way into the season after this game.
Yeah. Nobody had that on their bingo card, despite the fact that Baxter lied earlier and raised his hand, but you chided him for that.
I had to call him a liar. You're like, you're a liar. What about you, Dustin? Your most intriguing matchup?
My most intriguing matchup has got to be... I mean, truth be told, there's a couple matchups that intrigued me, and I was going back and forth on what to pick, but it's the Colts versus the Rams. Okay, You got 2 teams in very different spots. A lot of people expected a lot from the Rams this year, and we'll see what happens as the season goes on. But nobody expected anything from the Colts. Nobody saw this coming. Baxter, don't raise your hand again. I know that you're going to say that you did, but nobody saw this coming. So Colts versus the Rams is the matchup for me because I want to see how the Rams will respond after last week's collapse. They collapsed in that Eagles game. There's no other way to say it. And then how will Daniel Jones perform against a Rams defense that I still feel is a good defense? It's the feel-good story of the year so far. No denying that, unless you're a Giants fan. Giants fans are mad. But I still feel like, and I'm going to come off as a hater, but I want to see when and if the wheels will fall off with Daniel Jones. Kevin and I talked about it briefly last night. He feels that Daniel Jones will turn into a pumpkin at some point, as do I. I hope he doesn't, but I just have this feeling, and I want to see if it's this week against the Rams. Will the Rams be able to stop Jonathan Taylor at all, who has proved that he's still one of the better running backs in the NFL? And what, if anything, will the Colts defense, who has looked better than I certainly thought they would be to start the season, do to shut down the Rams' passing attack? You got to worry about Nakua, Devontae Adams, who got behind the Eagles real easy last week. So is this going to be a shootout? Can the Colts keep up if the game turns into a shootout? Because again, no offense to Daniel Jones, but despite his creaky back, I have much more faith in Matthew Stafford and his ability to go into a shootout than Daniel Jones. But Indiana Jones has been proving a lot of people wrong this year, and part of me hopes it still keeps going. I've got a lot more questions about this matchup, but it's the one that jumped off the page to me this week.
All right. Go to the comments real quick. Does he saying, pay the bills? She also says, I wear short shorts. You wear short shorts. You don't want to see me wear short shorts. So I got tree trunks. And
you've been working out on leg day, my friend.
Yeah, don't skip leg day. Never skip leg day. Does he saying, Baxter, Jerry Jones called you a liar?
Does he really? She likes when I break out the Jerry Jones. Although one week she did get me on Seahawks sessions. It wasn't my best work. She said that sounds like Cajun Jerry Jones. Maybe he's a new character.
We're gonna make ourselves a nice roux, and we'll borrow some oysters and get us some alligator. Guarantee.
You got to work that gumbo real slow, low and slow on the gumbo. Create that roux for hours.
Yeah, you got to make sure you add that onion. I guarantee. James chiming in saying the aftershocks from Jordan Davis's TD against the Rams are still resonating through southeast Pennsylvania. I don't doubt that. All right, our self-hatred game of the week. Dustin, actually, I got to pause. You go ahead. I got to pause. I got to take myself out of the room real quick. So I'll be right back.
All right, man. I'm on the big screen now. I feel self-conscious. Whoa, I got to look at my face close up. I don't know if I like it. But my self-hatred game of the week, I don't want to keep picking the Saints this week because I almost went Saints-Bills because I think that's going to go sideways. But instead, I picked an AFC South stinker. That's right. I'm sorry. It's a stinker. And no offense if you're a fan of these two teams, but Texans versus Titans. Oh, man. Ryan went in. He talked about C.J. Stroud on his hottest individual, the take of the week last Tuesday. The Texans have underperformed to start the season. We thought that they would have this division. They would have a stranglehold on this division because we didn't think the Colts were going to be very good, and the Colts have surprised us. But the Titans have played exactly how we thought they were going to play. Defensively, the Texans are still good, and much can be said about the Titans defense as well. They have overachieved. They have played better than people thought. So this could be a defensive game between two offenses that are really struggling. Cam Ward occasionally has flashes. You can see why the Titans took him number one with their number one pick, but he has some growing pains, and there really hasn't been a receiver there that has been able to step up. They have Calvin Ridley and they have Tyler Lockett, but the play calling has left much to be desired, so much that the head coach, Mr. Callahan down there, he relinquished play calling duties and set it over to the QB passing coordinator, I believe. So I'm surprised that it wasn't even the offensive coordinator who now has play calling duties. I don't know much about the situation down there in Tennessee, but Texans Titans, this is not going to be a good matchup. I don't think this is going to be one where I don't even think it's going to be one of those games where you're on Red Zone and they don't even, if you're watching Red Zone, they don't cut to it much. This one's going to be tough. This one really, I mean, I hate picking on these two teams, but it's going to be a tough game to watch. And man, yeah, you're right, James. I do have the bridge. I'm not used to this. I'm used to like coming in like a little bit of seasoning and saying my things, but I'm driving the ship now. I don't even know how to highlight the comments like Ryan does. So, I'm not sure if I can control those types of things, but I do have the bridge. Just call me Captain Picard. Ryan's Captain Kirk, I guess. Also shout out to William Shatner. Apparently he had a medical issue this week. Hopefully he retires, or recovers rather. Geez. Even though I'm more of a Star Wars guy than a Star Trek guy. I know some people are not going to like that I said that. And Desiree saying that she can see the stubble. That's right. This is weekend, Dustin. I don't always shave on the weekends here, but during the work week, I got to keep it, tight. But I can't grow a beard at all, unlike my illustrious co-host. But Ryan, I rambled about the Texans and the Titans being my most self-hatred game of the week, but I'm going to pass the baton back to you. And what's yours?
Yeah, that game I was going to pick myself, but you already took it. So, but yeah, that's a gross game to watch because we don't know. The Titans stink.
Yeah,
and we don't know which version of CJ Stroud we're going to see. So, so let's just put it that way. My self-hatred game of the week is the Sunday night game, Packers at Cowboys. And I guess we can't start flexing Sunday Night Football just yet. I think I think week 10 is the start of the flexing for the Sunday night game. So I'll double check. But Micah Parsons is making his homecoming to Jerry's World barely a month after his trade from Dallas to Green Bay. Cowboys defense is terrible. The Cowboys defense is terrible. All right.
Yeah.
Let's just call a spade a spade. The Cowboys are lucky to have just the one win because they played the Giants, who have a worse defense than they do. Jordan Love's going to turn to Toyotathon Jordan Love in this game. He took these. You remember back in 2 years ago in the playoffs, he picked apart the Cowboys at Jerry's World.
Yes,
he's going to do it again, and this is going to be Micah Parsons in vengeance mode. The doom music has hit for him. And I bet he can't wait after his first sack, after registers his first sack on Dak Prescott, to point up at Jerry Jones's press box and just absolutely relish in it. And this is going to be a snuff film that's considered a football game. Like, you want to look away, but you can't look away. It's going to be one of those. It's going to be that kind of game. So that's my self-hatred game of the week. Snowman checking in saying, hey, Snowman checking in. Yes, we know. We see that.
How's it going, Snowman?
And
hope you're having a fine weekend.
Yes, and James saying over-under on camera cuts to Micah Parsons currently set at 12.5. Sure. I don't know what sportsbook you're going to, but yeah. All right, let's go ahead to our players to watch or player or players to watch. I kind of alluded to mine, and it is Micah Parsons. And that's because
I'm locked up. He's been pointed to the deep end.
Yeah.
This is Micah Parsons is the guy I'm watching this week because, again, only because of the entertainment value is going to come from Micah Parsons registering at least one and a half sacks. Actually, if I check the sports book, hang on.
All right, checking.
We don't have a sports book sponsor, so because none of us really engage in it. If I log in real quick. Yeah, right now.
Checking the sports book. Putting a little background music on it.
I feel like I need to make a commercial for that, like our other commercials we still need to make for the fake companies that we sponsors we have.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you know what? We could do that. We could get together and just record all the fake commercials in one shot. And also, I don't know if you got a chance to check your email, but I did send you the voiceover for a certain element we talked about.
I haven't been able to check it out, but I'll definitely listen to it. It'll
be familiar.
Yeah, it only has safety for
number of safeties.
Come on.
Yeah,
come on.
okay.
But
all
yeah,
right.
I think the over under for Micah Parsons' sack is 0.5. If it's 0.5, take it.
Yeah.
Take it, because he's going to get at least one sack in this game, or at least half a sack in this game.
He will for sure, because that Dallas offensive line, not as great as it once was, but also I said it to start the season, and I'm going to say it again. just real quick, I feel bad for Brian Schottenheimer. The fact that he's been an offensive coordinator in this league for a long time with mixed results. I will say that. He was an OC for both our teams, Ryan, at one point.
Mhm.
But the fact that this is the roster that he has to deal with, like, he has to know deep down he has no shot in this division. He has no shot whatsoever because Jerry's not getting them the pieces that he would need,
Right.
And I also feel bad for Brian Dable. Some of the responsibility of the New York Giants is on Brian Dable, but a lot of it, unless he has a hands-on feel in how the roster is constructed, a lot of it's beyond his control. You think it was his decision to let Saquon walk? I don't think so. So, you feel bad for a couple of these coaches sometimes because they're the fall guys a lot of times.
Yep. Coaches, as friend of the show, Rod Peterson would say, coaches are hired to be fired.
It's true.
All right. Who's your players to watch?
All right. Well, I'm sorry, everybody. People sometimes probably get annoyed with me picking QBs or running backs all the time, but it's 2 QBs this week. 2 QBs, but it's got to be one of them. And Ryan, you're really the impetus behind the one, because you're really right about CJ Stroud. If he can't get it going against Tennessee, I think the noise surrounding CJ Stroud could get a little louder, and people are going to start wondering what's going on. I kind of made excuses for him last week when you brought it up in your hot take. I said, maybe part of it's the changeover on his offensive line, some moves outside of his control, a new coordinator yet again. But you have to start wondering, because he regressed last year. There's no two ways around it. Bobby Slowick took the fall for it. But he has not been what he was his rookie season, where I thought he was ascending to superstardom. So I'm going to have my eye on CJ Stroud and this Tennessee defense. As I said in my self-hatred game of the week, they've played better than you realize. So if he can't get it going against them, who can he get it going against? And also, man, if you're a human being, is there anything – I will be excited to see how Jackson Dart does. And I mean, Kevin brought it up on Seahawks Sessions last night. He said, if I'm the Giants coaching staff, I would have tried to postpone this decision until the Saints game, because Jackson Dart has got to start his NFL career going up against a Chargers defense that Jim Harbaugh has humming right now. But I want to see if Jackson Dart, does he bring anything? Because a lot of people are heaping a lot of dirt on Russ this week. Some of it justified, some of it not. But I was vocal to start the season. I said, I don't care who the Giants quarterback is behind that offensive line, nobody's getting protected. So Can Jackson Dart bring a little bit of a spark to this Giants offense and get Malik Neighbors involved and get the running game going? I mean, who knows? Because I think Jackson Dart can do some things with his feet. I think we saw it a little bit during preseason, but I can't remember. But those are the two quarterbacks that I'm watching with a Hawkeye this week.
Yeah. All right, go to our comment section. Snowman saying, I need you two for an interview soon so we can toss the football talk around. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, so I'm recording with Snowman tomorrow, so the solo shot. So
nice.
With the coffee with McCarthy. So we haven't done that in a while because work schedule prevents me from, unless I have the day off, work schedule prevents me from making appearances. So Snowman, Homer alert, player to watch. I'm sorry, wife Homer pick.exe initiating. Daniel Jones, wife Homer pick.exe initiated. Successfully completed. Yes. He also says Dustin should sing more. And we have an ad read. First one in a while from Snowman. No credentials required is sponsored by Steph Curry Cognac. One shot and it's lights out. Hey, Snowman, how about those Astros?
Oh man, taking a little bit of a shot there. Taking a little bit of a shot.
He said in his show, and I remember I have the receipts. He said the Astros will be in the ALCS playing Toronto. As of right now, they're a game behind Detroit, and man, Detroit's fall has to be studied.
Yeah,
that collapse was
shocking.
The ascend last year and the decline this year in August has to be studied. It has it's a study. That's a study to be had. All right, we're gonna move on to our Next segment, starting the last segment, which is the Cut the Break Pick'em Challenge.
Because I cut the brakes! Wild card, bitches! Yeah! What?
And again, our Cut the Breaks Pick'em Challenge is brought to you by Royal Retros, King of Throwbacks. 10% off your order with promo code CREDHEAD at checkout, plus $100 of, free shipping with every order over $100. Let's take a look at let's take a look at our picks for this week. We go ahead and bring up that file. So this is what we have in week 4. I currently lead 7-5. I'm up 7-5 on Dustin. So that's the way it is right now. Dustin's picks, he's got the Bills taking care of business against the Saints. He's got the Broncos beating the Bengals. And his upset pick is the Bears beating the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders are 1.5 favorites in this game. I looked it up because I wasn't sure who to pick, and I'm not confident in that pick, but I gotta start zigging when you zag to pick up some ground on you.
So meanwhile, my picks, I got the Raiders beating the Bears. It's a spite pick. Dustin, did you ever play Munchkin?
No, I didn't.
Never played Munchkin?
No.
So there's a card in Munchkin called a spite card.
Nice.
And I'm gonna Munchkin spite card.
Well, and it makes it, in my opinion, a little more entertaining when we go head to head on picks like that. We did it with the Patriots Steelers last week.
Yeah. So basically, it's a card called a spite card. Is that you just had to be there. Yeah, Munchkin the spite card. That's my spite pick against your upset. It always seems like I always pick against your upset pick.
Yeah.
I've also got the Lions beating the Browns handily, and my upset pick, I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars beating the San Francisco 49ers. And yes, even though Brock Purdy is scheduled to be back in the lineup, even though he's got that turf toe issue, he's got a shoulder issue, he'll be back in the lineup with absolutely nobody to throw to except for Christian McCaffrey. So this is our week 4 of the Cut the Breaks Pick'em Challenge. Either I had the opportunity to put a rocket on my back and go farther in the standings, get myself some distance, or Dustin has a chance to make up ground. And I know he's been eyeing that Florida Blockbusters jersey,
but I don't think I'm going to get it.
You don't know that. You don't know that. We still have 14 more weeks to go, my friend.
I know.
Still have 14 weeks to go. So that was our put the brakes, pick 'em challenge for week 4 of the NFL.
Because I cut the brakes! Wild card, bitches! Yeah! What?
Got more in the chat. Snowman saying I was wrong, dead wrong. Thank you for admitting you were wrong. As he's saying shots fired, and James saying Munchkin is hilarious. That's Munchkin. I haven't played Munchkin in a long time, but it's a fun game. It's an absolute blast to play, especially if you're playing against close friends. Use that spike card, and they won't hate you later. All right, before we wrap things up, this is almost under an hour for this show.
Yeah, we're cruising.
We're cruising right along. Our favorite athletes to wear the number 69. Desi is ready. So we're going to reveal our favorite athletes to wear the number 69. I'm going to have you start off first, Dustin. Who's your favorite athlete?
All right. Well, I looked at the athletes who wore number 69, and I had a feeling you might go where you went. So I had no problem. I picked Jared Allen, most remembered for his time on the Vikings. I think he was a terror at defensive end, but he was drafted by the Chiefs, I think, in 2004. I do remember seeing him in a Chiefs uniform early in his career. He was very good for them. I'm surprised they let him go.
You are correct.
Jared Allen was a terror for people. In 187 career games, he had 136 sacks. That's pretty good. He was 2011 Defensive Player of the Year. He was a 5-time Pro Bowler, a 4-time All-Pro, and he is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He was a sack machine. He was somebody that defenses had to, that offenses had to worry about, and he almost always commanded a double team by my memory because he was so good at getting to the quarterback. Even later in his career, he finished up with Carolina. He had some sacks for the Panthers. So, he really was a force that I remembered. And he also kind of had a personality. I remember he announced his retirement with just a picture and or video of him on a horse riding off into the sunset. Pretty cool way to announce your retirement.
Yeah.
So shouts to you, my favorite number 69. Nice. Jared Allen.
Yep. Jared Allen was drafted by Kansas City, 4th round in 2004, played with the Chiefs for 4 seasons, went to the Minnesota Vikings, which is where he broke out as a star for 6 seasons with them. Went to Chicago, played 2 seasons with them, and then wrapped up his career with Carolina in 2015. So, career sack totals. This is at the Idaho State University, but his total sacks, 136 total sacks in his career, was the league leader in sacks in 2007 and 2011 with 22 sacks in 2011, led the entire NFL. But he also had, let's see, 4 safeties. He had 4 safeties in his career. And 2 safeties in 2008 alone with Minnesota. So Hall of Fame career, absolutely. Also had 6 interceptions and a touchdown. Also has a fumble recovery, 19 fumble recoveries and a touchdown in his career. Also finished with 643 total tackles, 498 solos. So in that career of his. So and again, Jared Allen, congratulations. I can't remember the clip from after his Hall of Fame speech. He was walking to the back with his family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he tripped or something happened. I can't remember what happened after his Hall of Fame speech. I'll have to look it up real quick. Hall of Fame speech. Yeah, he honors his family, fear and respect. I forgot what else happened, but yeah, it was mostly about his family and how devoted he was and how much he thanked them. So that was that's Jared Allen. My favorite number 69. I'm giving a shout out to my fellow fraternity of offensive linemen. That is the stink himself, Mark Schlereth. Mark Schlereth, 2-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Super Bowl champ with the Washington Redskins and Denver Broncos. Was actually undersized as a lineman. He's also one of a handful of NFL players to be Alaskan born that played or drafted and played in the NFL. And he played, again, 15 years with the Redskins and the Broncos. He was one of the most, he was notorious for, not so notorious, but he had 29 surgeries before his playing career was over. Most of his shoulder and his knee. And he was going to sign, the Broncos were going to extend his contract in 6 years, $42 million, but he went up retiring instead. He said, and I quote, in 2001, he said, it became painfully obvious I couldn't sign a 6-year contract for $42 million worth of Tupperware. Started to realize in the last 3 months of agency that there's not a market for 6'3", 245-pound guard that's 35 years old and beat to a pulp. So he retired in 2001, was drafted by the Redskins in 1989 out of the University of Idaho, a 10th round pick.
Man.
Part of that Hogs. He was a hog.
Hogs.
But he was with the team when they won the Super Bowl in 1991, and then he was part of that team with the Broncos that repeated in 98 and 97 and 98, who protected John Elway. And again, undersized at that time, was considered undersized at 6'3" and 287 pounds. That was his max weight at offensive lineman. So he played right guard and he played center in his career in the NFL. And again, 29 total surgeries in his playing career. And this is a guy who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I believe. 2-time all, and he's also now he's a broadcaster. He was with ESPN, and I believe he is now with Fox Sports Radio.
Fox, I believe he is, because
Yes.
he's doing the NFL games on Fox, but I think he's
Yes.
part of their third broadcasting team.
Yep.
I'm trying to
with he's a co-host with Craig Carton and Danny Parkins on Breakfast Ball on Fox Sports 1. So that's where he is currently. But yeah, from what I understand, he's an outstanding dude on and off the field. Great guy to be around, and yeah, his personality definitely shows when he's broadcast. I remember him being on ESPN radio for a very long time. You could tell that his distinct voice was there. But he's heck of a guy. He's my favorite athlete to wear that number 69. I did look up notable athletes to wear number 69. I didn't realize that the NBA, nobody's allowed to wear number 69 in the NBA.
Oh wow!
Which is why Dennis Rodman wore number 70 during his 1 year with the Dallas Mavericks towards the end of his playing career. And obviously, because of the connotations behind that number, nobody in NBA is allowed to wear that number. So I was trying to figure out the NHL greatest athletes to wear number 69. Andrew Desjardins from the Chicago Blackhawks. They won a Stanley Cup in 2015. John Runyon is another one who actually it's mentioned in the chat.
Oh yeah,
by James. Says, get the Homer alert out. It's John Runyon for me, of course. Always has Homer alerts. Brought in to counter Strahan and did a solid job of it. Was also the last active player from the Houston Oilers and the fourth NFLer in Congress. Allen also forced Orlovsky's infamous safety in 2008 with the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Desi coming in with the Alabama pick. Her favorite number 69 is Landon Dickerson, transferred to Bama from Florida State, won the Remington Trophy in 2020 as the best center in college football. Started out at Alabama playing right guard, but moved to center. 4 games into that season, despite not ever playing the position, he ended the season second team All SEC, was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, where he currently plays. Yep, that's right. He is. He's a Pro Bowl selection 2022 as well, and she thinks he plays left guard. I think you're correct.
All right.
But yes, he learned. I remember hearing about that. He learned the position. He learned the center position, never having played it. And yes, he is a guard with the Eagles. So,
oh wow,
it's
impressive.
Never played it before, and second team All SEC with the Crimson Tide. So, but yeah, that's our favorite athletes to wear the number 69. So we're gonna get out of here. We'll be back on Tuesday at regular time. Hopefully, StreamYard has got its act together with the studios. We can we don't have to create a brand new studio, but it worked. Everything worked out. Again, thank you, Kelsey, for helping us out in that regard. But in the meantime, we want you to follow us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. Also, check out our other podcasts and written articles at bellyupsports.com, including our Belly Up YouTube channel. On the podcast side, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, our YouTube channel, and on Podbean, which is our host. And get the notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube, so you know when the show announcements go up, when live shows go up, and when show clips appear on the channel. Desi has a request, Dustin, but we'll get to that in just a moment. In the meantime, we're going to get out of here. That's not what I want. That's what I want.
There we go.
Thank you for tuning into No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. Don't forget my live stream, Monday Night Misery, starting at 7:10 Eastern Monday night, as I live react to Jets and Dolphins. So for Dustin Henry, I'm Ryan McCarthy. I'll be here in the streams on Monday night, and us two will be back on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the football, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Good afternoon, everybody.